10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Wrong way. Not yet. Not yet. Hi, and welcome to Dax Chats. This is, again, a new episode. And today, we have an artist from Norway, and he is absolutely brilliant. He has been on Norwegian Idol in 2016 and 2020. He has some amazing tracks, and one of his tracks is his recent track, Wherever He Goes. I'm talking about none other than Arthur Stulien, and here he is right now.
Hello.
G'day, Arthur. How are you, buddy?
Well, nice introduction. Thank you very much.
No problem, no problem. So, as I said, your career started from a very young age because you grew up in a musical family. So, tell me all about your journey before 2016, before Idol.
Yeah. As you said, my family is kind of known here in my local area for being very musical, and my grandfather, not he, but my grandmother gave birth to 8 kids, and all 8 kids, are either play an instrument or they're singing, and so they kind of taught us cousins, down the generations, and all our birthdays, and then family gatherings. It's basically concerts, not parties, but it's concerts. So from a young age, I think I was probably 6 years old when I started playing the guitar, like at school with a guitar tutor or guitar teacher, and just kept them going from that point.
So now, obviously, you've been doing some festivals and stuff like that as you were getting into your teens, your 20s and stuff like that. And then in 2016, you tried out for Norwegian Idol. What was the experience like going onto a reality television show like that?
What the people don't kind of get to see is that the production of these series and these reality shows is that us contenders or participants, we do everything in like 3-4 days, and the show is it's going for weeks. And so those 3 or 4 days it's tough, man. It's the days are maybe 18 hours long, and you have to
wow.
And then you have to do the bits and the pieces and the interviews and everything, and it's a very tough experience, and I never got to go live, which I kind of always was jealous of those who did, but the work before the live shows is very hard as well, and but it's a good experience to have going into the rest of my career.
Well, yeah, obviously going onto a reality television show like that sort of lends you to a following after that. Like if you get a bigger following. I know people that have done it in Australia that have huge followings because of where they landed or how they went in the show. But you went back and did it again. You went back and did it in 2020. Why go back?
After 2016, I said that I've done it once, and I'm not going back there, because now it's my turn to just try to do it on my own. And then in previous or employer of mine, he started working for the production team that are making Norwegian Idol, and he was like, "Yeah, why don't you come on and come join me on Norwegian Idol?" And I was like, "No, I mean I've been there." And he started calling me like this was in June last year, I think it was June or July, and then he called again in or texted me in August. Then he kept on. I just continued to say no, and he kept on texting me, "Come on, do this. Come on, come join me in Oslo." And I was like, no. And then right before I went, I was about to go home for a week, and I was going moose hunting, and then I got a call from the production manager or something like that, and he was like, "Well, if we come down and visit you, like do a portrait, would you like to join us?" And I was like, "Yeah, all right then." And then I knew I would get exposure on the show. And at that point in my, because this was before we started recording those 3 singles that came out this year.
That's right. Yeah.
So I thought that maybe I do need this right now to just kind of get the spark going again, because it was kind of slowly down, and after this year's Norwegian Idol, it's kind of stabilized and maybe it's pointing a little bit upwards right now. So it's good.
Stabilized. I tell you what, I think you've taken off. I tell you what. So you've your Vidar is your producer, and you've come out with like 3 amazing tracks this year, all in a pandemic, mind you. I don't know how you managed to, decide to release these songs during this pandemic, but it's been wonderful to listen to. First of all, there was, I believe, Play It Again was the first one. Okay. And tell us about that track and how that came to be.
Yeah, all 3 tracks, we were very lucky because we got finished doing our part of the recording right before lockdown. And funny story about Play It Again is that was actually the last song we decided to record, because we had like Riverbank and Wherever He Goes. Had decided those already, and we were like in the rehearsing to go in the studio, and we're like, what's the 3rd song? We have like I think we had like 4 alternatives, and Play It Again was the 5th. And I said, well, I have this one song, but it's not finished yet. I had a first verse and I had a chorus, and I was in that second verse, and then I started playing it with the band, and I started playing the verse and the chorus, and that kind of just jumped in on it. And then we were like, after the first chorus, we were like, yeah, this is a song. This is what we're recording. And then we wrote the second verse in like I think it was 5 minutes, and then the second verse was done, and that was the song. And we sent it to Vidar, our producer, and he was like, "Yeah, this is the one." So it was close to not recording Play It Again, but I'm very happy that we got to do it.
Isn't that funny though, that some of those things that you think they're not ready yet, you go and, like, I did the same thing in 2019. I wrote a song, and I headed into a studio. But before I headed into the studio, I sort of threw it at one of my artist friends back in Australia and said, what do you think about this? And he changed a few words and stuff like that and threw it back at me, and I went, there's a song. That's it. So I've done that too. So in 2019, I released my single, "The Whiskey," and I was glad that my friend jumped in and just and it was like that. It probably took me half an hour to write it, and once I sent it to him, it was like he was done with it within another half an hour, and it was just. It was a great song, so like there you go.
Yeah, songwriting is there's no like right answer to how do you write a song.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, some songs you can write in 10 minutes, and then you're like, this is kind of great stuff. This is what I'm going to record. And some songs you maybe have. I don't think my catalog of songs, I think there's about 150, maybe 200 songs there, and some of those have been there maybe for I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years, and I'm still not. I'm missing that last piece, you know, to just make it. Then I can
just to make the magic happen. I have the same thing. I have the same thing during COVID, because I'm, you know, obviously stuck where we are. You know, I wrote a song this year. I released a new single this year because my father passed away while we were in COVID, and so it was a bit of a shock because I couldn't go back to Australia, and there was no funeral for him because there was restrictions. You couldn't have more than 10 people at a funeral or something. So none of that happened. So it was a very trying time. So I wrote a single called "Railway in the Sky," and then after I wrote that. And I pulled out some old lyrics that, you know, I'd sort of thrown on the shelf. You know, they'd been there for 2 years, and I pulled them down. I started rewriting this song and sent it to another friend in Queensland in Australia, and she wrote some more to it and sent it back to me. And, you know, back and forth, and. Because I'm in Australia, because I'm in China, you know, I don't have a producer here or anything like that. So I was like, look, this is a great song. It's your song. You know, take it, do what you want with it. And I didn't think she was going to do anything with it. She didn't think she was going to do anything with it either. But she took the song down to her producer when she was recording her new album. She played the song to her producer, and the producer said, "This has to go on your album." So there you go. There you go. But yeah, it sat there for ages. So it's just when the right time happens, those things are magic.
Yeah. You know, it had to be the right lyrics at the right time, kind of, and in the right song, of course, as well.
Yep, for sure. So now your brand new track is called "Wherever He Goes." Right. That is just an absolutely brilliant song. I can't stop raving about it. As I said to you off screen, obviously Eleanor Springstrite in Sweden to me is #1 in Sweden. Arthur Stulien in Norway is #1 in Norway.
Thank you. Please tell that the rest of Norway, can you?
I'm sure they will hear this.
Thank you very much for your kind words. It's "Wherever He Goes" is maybe the song that before we started recording that this was a song that I had kind of the lowest expectations to.
Really?
Yeah, because I wasn't sure that people will kind of get the story in it and could, you know, get kind of what do you call it? Get familiar with it, but after we, you know, the recording was done and done all of the mixing and mastering, as it's called, maybe the song that I'm most happy with. Play It Again is also up there, of course. I mean the fiddle from Jason Roller on that song, I think it's brilliant, and the mandolin, of course. But those two songs are I'm very proud of those two, especially.
Absolutely, and I think Wherever He Goes is the standout out of the 3 tracks. So for your low expectations, it became the best one.
There we go. Play It Again is kind of it's kind of inspired by the traditional country, but it has like a pop country vibe to it with the not regular train beat, of course. Wherever He Goes is kind of like something that maybe Midland in the States would have done, kind of in their wheelhouse.
Yep.
With you have the brilliant steel guitar from Vidar, the producer who plays steel guitar, and Kenneth Sanocker, as you would pronounce it over there, has done a great job, you know, mixing the song, and it's I'm very happy with that.
Correct. And I mean, you know, like that is something that, you know, we don't hear a lot of these days, is that more traditional sound in country. And so when I heard this song, you know, it still sounded fresh, but it had that flowing traditional sound through it. And I was like, well, that's just beautiful.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So obviously the pandemic has happened, and you're the first person I've talked to in Norway. So how has it affected you in Norway, and what's happened and what's happening now?
Yeah, I mean, all of my gigs was obviously canceled from March and, you know, to August. There was some of them that kind of came back, and we're doing this festival or this concert, but with, you know, maximum 200 people, which is the limit here in Norway right now. I mean, we were slowly kind of getting back to normal. You know, I don't know if normal is the right word to use right now these days, but then no, but then, you know, the last couple of weeks there has been many I'd call it irresponsible people that has been, you know, been not keeping the distance they should, and you know, I think another lockdown is possible. I don't know if it's going to happen, but, you know, if people keep on doing what they've done, but, you know, this last week, I mean, it's probable.
Yeah, for sure. It's the same everywhere. I mean, like, I watch what's happening in Australia, and, you know, a whole state is locked down because of, you know, stupid people. You know, and then it's coming back to a second state, and, you know, it might creep on up the coast, you know, like so. And even here, I mean, it's, you know, where I am in China, I think there's 4 cases here now, but, you know, there's still cases coming back, you know, and I don't think we're going to see the end of it just yet. I think, you know, when we think about the Spanish flu lasted for 3 years, you know, and it killed 50 million people. If this is as dangerous as people say it is, I think it's going to last a lot longer than, you know, what people think it's going to last. And I wonder what it does to our industry, like to the entertainment industry, because we have suffered from the outset. You know, we were the first industry to be shut down. Musicians were the first industry to be shut down, and we'll be the last to get back up again. So I think, how are you dealing with that type of thing? I mean, as you said before, you sent me a message saying I was just rushing back from a gig. So obviously you're getting to perform somewhere, but, you know, you don't know for how long until that stops again.
Yeah, I did. I had played like 40 minutes for the elderly back home in my hometown. I live in the city now, but I took a trip just back home for the day and just play them some of my songs and some cover songs, just to. I mean, they don't get a lot of live music, live culture these days. So, you know, to do some volunteer work for them is kind of the least I could do.
Beautiful.
No, I mean, I've had a couple of those jobs where I've, you know, played at pubs, but, you know, it's the limit is 200 for gathering of people at public places. But I mean, a lot of the pubs, they can't take more than probably 80, 70, maybe 80 people. And we were playing, me and my band were playing they have like this student start festival, as they call it, and, you know, maximum 200 as well. And, you know, a university with, I think, 10,000 students.
Yeah, you can have 200 people.
And we had 200 people who want to come.
Wow.
So it's, I mean, our industry, I don't think, I mean, it will take more than just a year to get back to normal. Because they're talking about the vaccine coming in maybe a year and a half. But, you know, even if the vaccine comes and people who don't get the vaccine can still get it from people who who's got it. So yeah, it's I think I hope that in 2 years maybe it's back to normal, but who knows?
Yeah, 2 years. Well, there you go. I'm sorry. I'm getting past the flu, just a common cold. I don't have anything else. So I do want to think, because this has happened, musicians have had to, and artists have had to switch things around, and think out of the box and do things like what we're doing now, like these interviews and virtual shows. Have you been doing any virtual shows?
No, this is the first time I'm doing anything like this. I mean, I've had live concerts, live stream concerts, but it's the first time I'm doing like an interview like this. So this is I was very excited, and I was kind of nervous. I have to say that, but no, it's I've done 2 like live stream shows. I did one alone, and then I did one with a buddy of mine called Jonas Stahl. He's more like a Norwegian pop musician, but we call it a crossover, crossroads. Some of like
crossroads country and pop, for sure.
Yeah. Like CMT have done something like that in Nashville, and we kind of want to do something like that just here in Norway on a live stream, and it worked out good. It was very fun. Cool. And if we're going down to lockdown, I mean, maybe I'll do some more live stream shows, but it's way more fun to play for people live than through a screen.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I get that, and the feeling of having an audience there that it sort of gives you this great feeling. But on the other side of that, these virtual shows that people are doing are actually attracting people that they wouldn't normally attract. So you're actually, the benefit of these virtual things is that people are seeing you across the world that may not have seen you before, so I think there's a value in these virtual shows. Even if this pandemic ends and we can go back to normal, I still think that there is a place for these virtual events.
Yeah, of course. I also did a drive-in concert in my hometown, and it was kind of called the middle ground between live stream and like a real concert. But there was no applause. They were keep honking on their cars. That was my applause. So it was a lot of fun as well.
That could be our new normal for festival type of entertainment. They've done one in Sydney. They did a big one in America. Garth Brooks did a big one where he performed somewhere, and they put it on screens in drive-ins right across America. So that was brilliant. Keith Urban did a drive-in concert as well, so in Nashville. So I think that's something that we should be looking at, because that's the safest thing we can do right now.
I mean, and it's a, yes, I said it's a good middle ground from the live stream shows like through a screen and real concerts. So
So let's think about what's next for you. You've got 3 fantastic singles. You have done stuff before. You have an album with 10 original songs, but these 3 are your newest stuff. What's coming?
It's way better. I mean, the album we did, I think we were. I mean, to call us amateurs would be an understatement, I think, because we were the first time we ever, were recording something in studio, and we were producing it ourselves as well. We had the guy who was responsible for like recording and the marketing of the album. I mean, he's a very, good man to have in different genres, but I don't think country music was his genre, and to be honest, I don't think he believed in us the way he did, which I think kind of affected the outcome. Whereas these 3 singles we recorded this year, Vidar has been, he's produced the whole thing himself together with along with Kenneth. I've had my inputs on different things, and it's been and he obviously knows his stuff. He's been in business and in the industry for a long time, and I think he can. The songs I sent to him when I was just playing the acoustic guitar, I think he's the kind of guy, he can kind of picture the song just with that.
Cool.
And he's been so great, in the post production as well, like contacting you, of course, and other promoters and radio shows and radio channels, and I think he's almost believed more in us than we did ourselves, and I think that's a great man to have on board when you're doing this.
Yeah, for sure. So what's coming? What have you got any secret new singles planned, or what's coming for Arthur Stulien?
Yeah, I mean, the production has started, sort of. I mean, the songs have been picked, but it's not. We have like demos. We don't have any, raw material yet. But as it looks right now, I haven't discussed this with Vidar, so I don't know if he's on board with this, but I think it's going to be 7 songs in addition to those 3 that were released. So an album of 10 songs. Which will be my first solo album, because
debut album, yeah.
Yeah, because the previous album was with the band, and now the band are doing another genre, and I'm doing my own thing, and so it'll be my first solo album, which I'm very excited about, obviously, and I think Vidar is too.
Yeah, look, I'm excited about it too. I'm looking forward to it. Like, because we don't know what's happening in the rest of the world unless we find these gems. And you seriously are a gem.
Thank you.
It's just amazing that I'm glad that. What's his name, Vidar? I'm glad he sent me your stuff. I really am, because once I heard it, I was like, yep, that's going on my radio station. Yep, that's going on my radio. Yep, that's going on my radio station. All 3 of them are up there. All right, thank you very much. And this guy's from Norway.
Cowboy Viking.
I can't sing your praises enough, man. You're doing a wonderful job, and I hope to hear some great stuff from you very, very soon. So tell your producer we're going back in the studio. We're doing something new very soon. Okay.
I'll do that. Thank you very much.
No worries. You have a wonderful day, night, whatever it is over there.
Afternoon. It's a beautiful afternoon here in Norway. The sun is shining, and there's no clouds, and it's blue sky.
There you go. Well, you have a wonderful afternoon into your evening, and thank you very much for taking the time to speak to me tonight.
Thank you.
No worries. That was Arthur Stulien from Norway. He has 3 songs on the Country Thunder Network. They are Play It Again, Riverbank, and Wherever He Goes. You can listen to them on the radio station, or you can vote for them on the Country Thunder 20. All you have to do is go to our website, countrythunder.com.au. Until next time, this is DJ Dax signing out for Dax Chats. We're proudly supported by Neon Horse in Stanhope, Victoria. See you next time.